direct from the web, it's Billy Masters Live.
Live.
And now, please welcome your host, Billy Masters.
Oh my God, I'm just having a refreshing beverage. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Billy Masters Live. I am, of course, your host, Billy Masters. And today, look at that. It appeared like magic. Today is Thursday, December 10th. I am exhausted. I have been running around like crazy. I am still in Florida, as you can tell from my lovely Floridian abode. And I head back to Boston on Saturday. So there's so many little things to take care of. And yesterday I was out shopping. I have to just show you, I've shown you these before. See, we have like this display. These are my balls. I have some blue balls. I have some hairy balls. I have some see-through balls. There's just all sorts of balls. I love little because it's Florida. So you want to have little Floridian things. There's a Moroccan star over there. There's a little sundial. There's a little fish. Anyway, yesterday I go to this place called Out of the Closet here in Fort Lauderdale. We used to have one in West Hollywood. I guess we still do on Santa Monica Boulevard. I don't know because we're in a pandemic. And every once in a while, I go to Out of the Closet because you might find something that somebody has donated and all the money goes to AIDS research. And, I always like to, spread the money around. And it's all stuff I don't need. Like, did I need more balls? I've got enough balls, although not lately. Anyway, so I found this and I just want to show you. Look at this. I thought it was just like a ceramic lighthouse. Can you see? And look, there's a little fish and everything, but it's a cookie jar. I just love this. And I got it for $3.99. And there's a lot of blue in my house because I love blue. And I like to keep the beach motif. Maybe I'll put this next to the balls so you can enjoy. No, you're not going to enjoy it. Right there, next to the fish. Can you see that? No, you're going to have me in the way. Whatever. It's just a lighthouse. I'm not guiding ships in, really. Anyway, welcome to Billy Masters Live. Of course, we are continuing our holiday season. I have to tell you, next week, Thursday, we are having Ruth Pointer of the Pointer Sisters. For those of you keeping track, this will be our second Pointer sister. Tuesday's show, I can't tell you because there are two people tentatively booked. I don't know what's going to happen, but we will do something. I believe next week is going to be our last shows of before Christmas, but I don't know because there is also a couple people that want to be on. And if they do, I may do a show on the week of Christmas on Tuesday. That's tentative. I'm not getting paid for this. If you want to see it, you see it. Look, do you realize this is you can turn off the date. This is our 70th show. Every Tuesday and Thursday, 3 p.m. Eastern, noon Pacific during the pandemic. So 70 shows. And you know what? It's actually been so much fun because it's given me something to do. I started it so that you guys who were sitting home bored would just have something to do, a little laugh. And then I realized that, it gave me something to do. And, let me tell you the trick of being a good talk show host or interviewer. It's like being on a first date. And can I just tell you, I have been on a lot of first dates. Not quite as many second dates, but a lot of first dates. There's also been a lot of encounters that really I don't consider a date one way or the other. But anyway, so it's like you're all on a date with Billy. Even during a pandemic, I'm a whore. So we have two guests today, and I'm going to start... This is so funny. So Kay Sedia, you probably all know Kay Sedia from Chico's Angels and so much fundraising and Tupperware parties and online shows and cooking. So I just was on Facebook and it's Kay, K-A-Y, Sedia, S-E-D, Sedia. There you go. Don't mind me. And a week or so ago, all of a sudden, she was making something that looked delicious. It was a stacker of vegetables and chicken, rice. It was like some sort of a bowl. And she did it in a stacker. And I was just there fascinated watching her. And I just want to show you a clip.
Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and start building my stack for cooking. I'm going to go ahead and set. I need another.
Billy Masters is in the house. He says you are stacked enough, Kay Sedia.
That's verdad. Hi, Billy. Have me back on your show. When are we going to talk again? Here we go. Look at this.
Billy says text him. He'll talk to you anytime.
Perfect.
Okay.
Hi, Papa. You want to say hello? Say hola. Hold on, Papa. I'm cooking. Hold on 1 second.
Hi.
You want to get up and come hold him for a sec? So you can say hola. Hi. What's wrong? You hungry?
Oh, he's so cute.
Because this is his
He's
dinner.
in trouble because I told him not to leave the room.
Y era nomás, Don Quito? You're not listening?
I could sit and watch Kay Sedia cook for hours, and I actually have. So I am thrilled to have her on. We're going to start with Kay Sedia, who's going to get us started. The delightful Kay Sedia.
Hola!
How are you, Karina?
Oh, you know what? I'm just trying to keep it sexy here in Sun Valley.
Oh, can I just say, watching you cook is so funny. And I told you before the show, somebody was talking about that you had this, it's a chopper that you pull the cord and it chops.
What?
And she said, I love that chopper. And you said, we're changing lives.
We're changing life with the use of plastic.
How much Tupperware do you have?
I have probably everything in the catalog and then some. I have a garage full of it. I used to have a storage, but I started doing bingo so that I could get rid of it. Yeah.
And do you do it because you love it? Do you do it just for the work? What got you into it?
Well, you know what? It's funny because when I started doing Tupperware, I had just been performing for about 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
And I just found that I wasn't enjoying being in clubs. So looking for another outlet, I started performing with an improv troupe, The Plush Life. I don't know if you ever heard of that one.
I know them, yep.
With Mr. Dan. And I started performing at Drag Strip. And those two places I really enjoyed performing because it was more of an artistic outlet in that we were reworking songs, we were doing parodies. And I was having a blast there. But then I'd go to clubs and try to lip sync, and I was terrible at it. Plus, I was more of like a theater queen. So what happened was I went to a Tupperware party. I was invited by my friend Chris Anderson, who everyone knows as Dixie Longate.
I know Dixie, yep.
Right? And his roommate was Danny Castillas, who plays Frida-Lay in Chico's Angels.
Yep.
So Danny had a Tupperware party, and Danny and I were just acquaintances at the time. That's a hard word. It's a hard word.
Yeah.
But what happened was he invited me, and then Frank, Phranc, Frank. She was an old punk rock.
Oh, yes, the singer, right.
Yes. She was the Tupperware hostess, and it was kind of like a bucket list thing that she was doing.
Really?
It was hysterical. And the whole time I'm sitting there thinking, I could totally do this in drag. And then I said to Chris, I go, hey, we should do this in drag. And he said, well, I'll do it if you do it. I'm like, let's do it. So
there you go.
There we go. We both signed up. That was August of 2001.
Oh, my God. It's been forever.
19 years I've been doing this now.
Girl. And what about the cooking? I love the cooking shows.
Here's the thing. The reason my little one, he's in and out right now.
I love him. He's so cute.
Oh, thank you. Try living with him. Okay. But here's the thing. I am a terrible cook. I am not a good cook. What I have found is that I've been cooking recipes that I have found through Tupperware. And I'm like, you know what? This isn't so bad. And it's not so hard.
Right. You make it look very easy.
Thank you. Thank you. It's because I'm easy. Papa, go with Daddy. Stuck at the door.
Well, and speaking of Daddy, what I love is that your husband comes in and he eats the food afterwards, and he'll tell you, this isn't very good, or, oh, this is delicious.
Yeah, and he gets it when he tells me it's not good. I'm like, you're supposed to screen. Lie on the screen.
All right. Now, I got to go to Karl, but what are we going to make today?
I'm going to make a simple three-ingredient peanut butter cookie. You want me to start it?
Start it.
I will start it, and then you can go up to Karl, and then while it's baking.
And then you'll cook, right?
You'll come back to me, Billy.
And I will.
I'm gonna grab here is the That's a Bowl medium container. Now, just FYI for people who are watching, this hole, for the longest time, I didn't know what this hole was for. I just thought Tupperware is getting a little kinky, but who am I to say? But what it is, it's a thumb rest, so you can grip onto the bowl.
Oh, look at that. So it won't slip.
So simple. So I'm gonna go ahead and use this bowl. Let me see if I can fit you guys into the screen. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get 1 cup of sugar in my mug.
Got it.
Okay, let me go ahead and
can never have too much.
Never have too much sugar. Okay, and that's it. 1 cup of sugar. 1 cup of peanut butter.
Okay.
I like my peanut butter to have nuts. Just FYI.
Yeah, well, it's all right. I get it. I've got balls. You have nuts. It's fine.
Thank you. Now, this is the frosty silicone spatula, which I think is the best invention ever created.
Oh, you keep talking about this silicone spatula. You love it.
Right? Because whenever you cook, mix, or anything, and you always have that excess in the bowl still,
Yep.
scrapes it all up, and there's no mess and no fuss. It gets everything. And even your peanut butter. You know how sometimes...
Oh, look at that. You get right to the edge.
Sometimes you get to the bottom of your peanut butter, and I could probably scrape out another sandwich out of that one, but you can't because you're trying to use a butter knife.
Right.
But the frosty silicone spatula, it mixes it right up. It gathers it all up. Look at that. Let me feel this. So this is the only difficult part, is trying to get all these peanut butter in this cup. One more.
Okay.
All right. Check it out.
And people can follow you on Facebook at Kay Sedia on Facebook.
Kay Sedia 1 with another.
1. Why? Is there another Kay Sedia?
I was gonna cut a bitch, but it's not anybody who's a performer or anything like that. It's somebody actually named Kay Sedia. I'm like, sorry.
Well, I'd like to see some birth records on that. Okay. Yep. There's the peanut butter.
1 cup of peanut butter.
Yeah.
You scoop that right in. Let me get this in the screen. I'm gonna scoop that into the bowl with the sugar.
Got it.
And again, it scrapes everything right out of this.
See, no waste. Although I would eat it all anyway.
I just do it.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I love peanut butter.
And
Yeah.
Hey, now I'm gonna go ahead and grab my screen so you guys can take a look at this.
Okay. Oh, see, it's like a real show. Look at that.
Okay, so I'm gonna crack 1 egg.
Yeah. Do you often cook with all that jewelry on?
Well, I gotta try to keep it sexy in the kitchen.
I know. Well,
look, that is it. I'm gonna go ahead and mix it all up. That is my whole ingredient.
Oh, God.
And then you just gotta stir this up, make sure everything gets mixed in.
Yeah. All
right. And I have a cookie scoop. Look at that.
That's so easy. Look at that batter.
Smells good too.
Karl is sitting in the background thinking, I haven't had a carb in 10 years, and I'm watching them eating.
I'm about to join you because this pandemic has not been kind to my figure.
Oh, you and me both, I know.
Girl, let me just tell you, I am so in the moo-moos right now, okay? They need to make a comeback.
Hello, BB Andrade. Date Billy during the pandemic by tuning in. That's right. And by buying some Tupperware from Kay Sedia.
Oh my God, but it's so funny because as soon as this pandemic hit, I thought, oh, that's it. My business is done.
No, we're keeping people. Look, we're changing lives.
We're changing lives, but the first 3 months was incredible, over the top sales like I had never had.
Yeah. Well, I think everyone needed to find their way. I mean, we started the show, I guess, April 1st. So it took about a month.
Okay, now the next thing, which happens to be on sale right now, but Billy, you know what I was thinking? We should have set you up with your own Tupperware link so that you could have been my hostess and earn free Tupperware.
Oh my God, I could have earned Tupperware.
You could have earned Tupperware. So this
Look at that.
Cookie sheet. Now, Tupperware has many silicone forms right now, which I've been obsessed with lately because it is so simple to cook. Now, this can go into the freezer, it can go into the microwave, it can go into the oven, which is how I'm
not going to melt or anything?
It will not melt. But you see all the little circles?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh my God, that's going to be your form for the cookies.
And it measures everything out for you. So you could just be pretty and not know things, and you could still make these cookies. You look, right? So look.
Oh, yep.
Now you do
And
need,
then
whenever you do put the silicone forms in the oven, you did need to put it on top of a cooking sheet or something like that.
yeah, you don't want to put it right on the rack.
No, you don't want to put it on the rack because then.
And speaking of racks, your rack looks good.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, now you keep cooking. I have to go to Karl. We will check. Oh, how long do you have to cook that for?
These will cook for 8 minutes, but it's going to take me a little bit to get them in.
Okay, all right, you go. We'll be back to you in about 20 minutes.
I'll be here.
Oh my God, I love it. Kay Sedia, look at this. This is interactive. This is Martha Stewart level cooking. All right, now, Karl Schmid, if you live in Southern California, although look, I say that, then somebody said to me, you know, he used to be on Logo, and I should know that, and I think I do know that. I never watched Logo. I know I'm a bad gay because I pitched a show to them, and they wanted me, but they wanted me with somebody else. They wanted me to be played by somebody else. Who else is going to play Billy Masters? Anyway, I know my audience. So I've got this clip of Karl. I spent hours last night going through footage. And of course, what do I find out from my shallow viewers? This.
As the Aussie host of Operation Vacation, I'm always on the go. So catching a cold isn't an option. That's why I always make time to exercise. I'm really into nutrition, so eating healthy and staying hydrated is key to avoiding colds. And looking good. When I'm traveling, I like to keep it clean. With sanitizer, of course. I use it to fight germs. So the next time you get your jet set on, follow my tips for a trip that's beyond memorable. And not because you have to go to the doctor.
See, look, he's sanitized himself even before it was popular. But what everybody really knows about him is a couple of years ago, he came out as HIV positive. And I'm just going to show a little bit of this message, and then we'll go to Karl. Take a look.
I didn't do this for attention. I did this because it was important for me to start owning who I am. I'm HIV positive. It's part of who I am, but it doesn't define me. And if you're HIV positive, it shouldn't define you either. Take the steps to educate yourself and those around you, those you care about, your friends, your family. Go and get tested. This is an illness that can go away, but we face stigma. We face shame. We face the feeling of inequality, not being accepted. We can get rid of that the more we talk about it. So if me being honest, wearing my AIDS Memorial t-shirt and thinking, oh, that was a cute picture of me, I'll stick it on social media, helps start a conversation, then fantastic. Do it for yourself, do it for others, do it for your community. It's time to end the stigma. I'm Karl Schmid, I'm 37 years old, and I'm HIV positive.
And he's here with us now, ladies and gentlemen, Karl Schmid.
I'm Karl Schmid, and now I'm 40 years old, Billy Martin. And if I start eating Kay Sedia's cookies, which is essentially just peanut butter and sugar,
exactly,
I may not make it to 42.
It's health
Thanks for
food.
having me.
It's all natural.
Yeah.
It's great. Yeah, did you know?
That's what I often say. Sugar is natural. It comes from the cane plant.
Yes, and you know, she used that all-natural Jif peanut butter.
I did notice that. You know, in Australia, we have a brand of peanut butter. Oh, no, it's here you call it Skippy peanut butter. Skippy, but in Australia, yeah. Skippy is a kangaroo. So.
Oh, well. And where are you? Where are you quarantining right now?
I am quarantining in my apartment in West Hollywood, which has also become my office of the last 9.5 months. So, but, you know, there are worse places to be stuck. And thankfully, yeah. I live alone. You know, I've been essentially practicing social distancing since I was 6. So this whole having to be by yourself thing is not a shove for me. I actually quite enjoy it.
Well, see, so we're having a first date.
We are having a
Anything
first
is possible, even during a pandemic. You know, I usually live in West Hollywood. I flew back to Boston to spend the pandemic with my parents because in case something happened, nothing has happened, thank God. Your family is in Australia, most of them?
Yeah, well, I have 2 brothers. One actually lives in Washington State. The other one lives in Sydney, Australia. And my parents are in Australia. So if
How would they do it?
They're great. You know, Australia and New Zealand have actually done this the right way, and they locked things down the way you should lock things down. Yeah. You know, I'm somewhat surprised here in California
when we've had all these county shutdowns, and now we're in the middle of sort of a statewide lockdown, but it's too late, you know, and the only people that are really hurting are all the small businesses. They shouldn't have shut county by county. So what? So they'll drive to Ventura County and have dinner. Do you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't work. So thankfully there in Australia, the case numbers down there are very low, and touch wood, they're doing fine. And you know what? My family, we've all lived separate around the world for the last 20 years. So thankfully we're used to living through Skype and video chat more than we see each other, but it's still tough.
I know that when this pandemic, I guess it was maybe May or June, I have a friend in Melbourne, Australia, and he had said, he had asked how we were doing. I asked how he was doing, and he said, oh, it's gotten scary. We just had a spike. We hit 100. I said, that's not a spike.
Well,
but that was
I saw a statistic the other day that talked about the number of new cases in Southern California was 10,000, which was more than all of the cases in Japan combined. You know, look, I don't understand. I don't get it. You know, that we're told that we should stop at a stop sign, and most of the time we do. We always put a seatbelt on. You know, put a damn mask on. I know it's the new condom. No one wanted to wear condoms back in the day. HIV/AIDS came along. We put on condoms. Put on a mask. It doesn't take much.
Well, it's funny because I've known you because I live, as I say, I live in Southern California. So I've seen you on TV for years. And when you came out as HIV positive and you're so young, what I thought was that it really does remind people AIDS is not gone. AIDS is not a generation away. AIDS is still there. And young people are the people who are getting infected the quickest.
Well, yeah. And certainly young people of color, and, you know, minority communities in this country especially. You're right. It hasn't gone away. Look, there have been huge medical and scientific advances, which are phenomenal, which means that if you do get an HIV diagnosis now, you can expect to live a very long, happy, and somewhat healthier life than those who don't, because you end up going to the doctor 2 or 3 times a year. So you catch things if things creep in.
And you're on meds if necessary.
Yeah, and well, you get on the HIV medicine once you're diagnosed. You become undetectable, and that means that the virus is so low in your body that it can't be detected on a typical clinical test, and then you can't transmit the virus. You can't pass the virus on it. If you're undetectable, you're untransmittable. So we have come a long way, but we're still not there. And what is stopping us really from stopping HIV and AIDS altogether, in my opinion, is the stigma that surrounds it. It's the misinformation, it's the misunderstanding that it is still a gay white man's disease. So if I'm a heterosexual woman, I don't need to think about it. You know,
and a woman of color, it is a huge pandemic because they are sleeping with partners that don't tell them that either they have slept with men or that they have drug use or that they have it. We've had Cheryl Lee Ralph on here several times.
Yeah, I saw that, and she's just done a fantastic job. She just raised a lot of money with her Divas Simply Singing last week. Kudos to her and everyone that participated in that. But yeah, and look, this all stems from we just don't talk about sex in this country. God forbid you talk about sex. I mean, it is only one of the most natural things that any animal does. It's the thing that we all have in common. Sex. We're all here because of it. Most of us. But we can't talk about that. So, you know, we've shrouded anything sexual and then HIV/AIDS or, you know, i.e. drug use in this cloud of guilt and sin and disgust. Because I say constantly. And judgment. Well, the thing is, if I was diagnosed with cancer, people come and wrap their arms. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. Are you okay? If I'm diagnosed with diabetes, oh my God, that sucks. What does this mean for you? And then I say, well, I'm HIV positive. People go, how'd you get it?
That is the first question. And, you know, I think it bears mentioning, you're about 10 years younger than me. I thought you were about 10 years younger than me. Oh, God love you. It's the special
I am firing the PR people I work with to make out the wrong notes.
But I came out just as AIDS was starting. So I don't remember a time before AIDS, and I'm assuming you don't either.
Well, no, actually, I do.
Oh.
We had some pretty horrific. We had some pretty horrific and powerful ad campaigns in Australia where I was growing up at the time, and it was 1987. I clearly remember these fear ads, these campaigns that were put on, paid for by the government, and they put the fear of God in you, as they should at the time, because no one really had a grasp on it. The problem is they did such a good job at scaring the hell out of everybody. It became a taboo topic that no one wants to ever discuss, and to this day. So when you hear HIV or AIDS, it's not really a sexy topic you want to put on the morning news shows and talk about the fantastic headway we've made with it, and the fact that U equals U exists, and we've got PrEP now, and we've got these great medicines, and we're very quickly going towards a once every couple of months injectable medication, so you don't have to take a pill every day. But the amount of times that I pitched this to various morning news shows, including ones relatively close to me, I get the same response. What you're doing is amazing, and you've got such a great story. Just not the right time, because no one wants to talk about it, because we scared everyone, and it circles back to this to do with sex and quite often LGBTQ issues people identify it with,
or minorities or drug use.
Yeah, exactly. That's not pretty on the on certain morning shows.
Well, I'm going to actually tell you, I don't think I've said this on the air, but it's certainly been in my column. When I every time I bring this up, I feel like I have to apologize for being HIV negative, because I lived through so many people dying that you do have sort of survivor's guilt. And it's almost like you're bragging, and it's not that at all. But when PrEP started, I thought it was really important to get the word out to people about PrEP. And I talked to my doctor, I got all the information, and I went on PrEP, and I went public with it. And I was told that I shouldn't have, that there were people who said, well, now you're telling people that you're on PrEP, and then you're telling them more about your sex life and that you're negative. I said, I don't have a problem telling any of that. Why is that an issue?
Oh, exactly. And also there was a whole campaign of slut shaming, pardon my language, that went on.
I got that too.
You're taking PrEP. You must be a real, jumping from one bed to the next. or we could look at it and say, I'm taking responsibility for my own sexual health and that of my partners. And again, because we don't talk about sexual health so freely in this country, people don't get tested. Because I have two friends in their two cisgendered, straight, white, heterosexual men who are really good friends of mine, both in their mid to late 20s. And they both revealed to me a little while ago that they had never been in for a sexual health screening. I nearly fell off my chair. I mean, I yelled at them. And I said, why? And they're like, because, you're labeled as dirty. So therein lies the biggest problem. We just don't talk about it. But I would think that, taking responsibility for your own sexual health and that of your sexual partners is something that should be commended, really, rather than shamed.
Yeah, I have actually, I didn't even think about this till just a second. I've still been taking PrEP during this pandemic. Now, I haven't hooked up with anyone in 8 months, but I'm still taking it. I suppose I don't have to, but it's part of my life now. And I think that's when you are, it's like getting in a car. I don't think about putting on my seatbelt. I just put it on. So the more that you educate people and it becomes part of their lives, the less it's a stigma. And that's part of the campaign that you're talking about, the getting rid of the stigma of talking about it and dealing with people who are HIV positive.
Well, yeah, I mean, look, we created the F+Stigma campaign, and we've done these, and I know you got one.
I have a mask. It's up in Boston.
It's waiting in Boston. It's waiting for you, and we're proud to say that they're made in America too. We created these face masks because we're all supposed to be wearing them right now, with the simple F+Stigma on it. And, a lot of people are going to assume or make an assumption what the F stands for, and that's good. That's fine. And what it does is it makes someone go, what does that mean? That's all it takes, Billy. What does that mean? What does F+Stigma mean? What are you talking about? And off we go. We start having a conversation about it. I have a couple of T-shirts that just say U equals U on them, and I've worn these things all over. And I was in Australia 2 years ago for the holidays, and I stopped in at a florist to buy my grandmother's
who I hadn't seen for a year and a half, some flowers. I was going to visit them. Good favorite #1 grandson. Went in, and the nice lady in the florist, she was packing up the flowers for me, and she said, "Oh, what does your T-shirt mean?" And I said, "Oh, U equals U. It stands for undetectable equals untransmittable, which means." And this woman would have been, I would have said, maybe late 50s, Australian, married, grandchildren, who knows. And she thanked me profusely at the end. She said, "I've never heard of that. And my gosh, I had no idea. Thank you for that." And I've had similar reactions all over the world. So if we can start a conversation that leads to somebody saying, "My gosh, I didn't know that," and then they go home and say, "Did you know, did you know if you've got HIV and you take your medicine, you can't give it to people?" I mean, this is the simplest messaging. U equals U. It couldn't be more cost effective for a marketing campaign. You don't have to pay for all the letters.
3 letters. Oh, 2 letters and a symbol.
2 letters and a symbol. But people don't know about it. And certainly people in parts of this country and in the Latinx community and Black and brown communities, and trans communities, they don't hear it. They don't always want to hear it from a white guy either, because why would you? But these are the simple things. So yeah, we started the F+Stigma campaign through my digital lifestyle brand called +Life, which is all about turning positive into a plus and living your best life. And we hope that, you know, people go, "What does that mean?" And then they have a conversation, because knowledge is power.
Well, I also think that a lot of people think that people are willfully ignorant, and it's not the case. It's that it's not part of their lives, where, you know, there are things that we take for granted because we're part of a community where these things are very prevalent. But my parents, my grandparents don't know any of this stuff.
Right.
Nor do they need to, but it's still knowledge.
Yeah. But it's also... But that's also part of the problem, Billy, because we think that we don't need to know about it. And going back to your point earlier about, you know, people who are having sex with people that they don't know who they're having sex with. There are a lot of men in this country and around the world who like to occasionally have sex with other men. They don't identify as gay or but they do. But they're married and they have kids and they go home to and their wives think, well, this would never, you know. Or there are people who might IV drug users that we wouldn't know. Oh, well, they're an upstanding citizen. They work at the bank. They're, you know, you don't know what people are doing behind closed doors. And I think that this current pandemic we're living through has once again sort of highlighted that, especially when we talk about the masks and you hear people like Dr. Fauci saying, you know, just wear the mask, because you don't know that the person standing in the grocery store next to you, what their situation has been. So if we can all do simple things. Correct. And it's through no fault of their own, but you just don't know. No one sets out to get COVID on purpose. And with the exception of a subgroup of people who have a weird fetish I don't quite understand, not many people set out to get sexual health, infections either. So,
well, that's the thing. You know, I remember when the AIDS epidemic began and we started wearing condoms, and people would want to have the conversations, and I always found the conversations were very awkward. I just always used a condom, and it was just and it's the same thing about a mask. If you can do something that protects you, then do it. If you can do something that protects people you love around you, do it. It's all very common sense to me.
Yeah, of course it is. And like I said, we put the seatbelt on in the car. We stop at the stop sign. We don't. Sometimes. We park. Sometimes, and most of the time, we park where we're supposed to park, because if we don't, we get a ticket, and we do that. So I don't understand how difficult it is to do this. But there you go. Who am I to say?
How scary was it for you to come out? Because, you know, look, I knew the backlash I got, and this is when I was just in print, and it's people read it. You go into people's homes every day as a reporter, and all of a sudden they're now going to have in their head whatever picture they have when they get this information. That's going to be scary.
Well, it certainly was. I mean, I kept it a professional secret, let's put it that way, for 10 years. I mean, friends and family and people I got close to certainly knew. I didn't hide it in that sense. But on the professional side, I did, because I had a lot of well-meaning people say to me, "Oh God, you don't want it because you don't want to become known as the guy with AIDS on television."
Was there a downside?
What? Sorry?
Was there a downside?
If there was, I haven't been privy to it. Who knows what is said behind closed doors in conference rooms or situations that I may have missed out on. I don't know. But I will say this, that certainly ABC and the Walt Disney Company have been fantastic and very supportive. And the feedback, 99% of the feedback from people has been great. And that's, of course, what's led us to go and start Plus Life as well, was the fact that you can get out there and live your life and show people. Because I get messages daily from people going, "How do you do it?" Or "I'm so scared," or "I'll lose everything." And I watch your programming because it really gives me strength. And that is flattering, but it also is heartbreaking. Nobody should be made to stand in the shade or in the rain and feel less than because they did something, more often than not, when we talk about sexual transmission, that couldn't be more natural if you tried. And then, so the downside, if there was one, I don't know. I will tell you this. It's flattering as it is to be sort of held up as a role model. It's sort of a term I'm quite uncomfortable with because, and I explain to people, look, I'm just somebody doing my thing. I am far from perfect. I have done a lot of stupid things in my life. I probably will continue to do stupid things I don't mean to do. And we have a real culture, especially here, of wanting to build people up and then one step out of line, pull them down. So I'm very quick to say, while it's very nice that people say you're a hero, I don't really want to be, and please don't hold me in that light, because I'm sure it's only a matter of time before some person decides to put a picture out there or something of a moment of a lapse of good judgment on my part, which there've been many. I really just do what I do, and maybe that's why it resonates, because I am me and I am being honest about things, and I don't mind showing when I make mistakes. I think that's really human and important. I don't mind talking about the times when I am down or miserable. We spend a lot of time nowadays telling people to always look on the bright side, be positive, be positive.
It's exhausting.
And yes, you should. It is exhausting. Some days you just want to sit on the floor and have a cry.
Yeah.
And that is okay. And you're allowed to get cross, and you're allowed to get frustrated, and you're allowed to be grumpy. And when people tell you that you shouldn't be because look at how great your life is, I mean, they're very well meaning, but if you don't have those days, how do you then, get the courage
enjoy the good?
Enjoy the good days, exactly.
A couple people are posting. One person said, "Well, it helps that he's gorgeous. Who do you want to get news from, Wolf Blitzer or Karl?" Well, that's true. Not for nothing. If you have Wolf Blitzer saying I'm HIV positive, you're like, Wolf, come on. You put a very positive, because you also have a good attitude about it. You're very likable and you're very good looking.
And also, if Wolf Blitz is saying, "I've got health news," you're going to be hearing him say that for about 45 minutes on loop and then never give you the news. That's all he does on his show. I love seeing my CNN, but it's breaking news constantly with Wolf Blitzer, who's repeating everything that happened on the show before.
That's true. And, if Wolf Blitzer has a health issue, it's probably somewhere else.
Yeah.
And Jerome Cleary, I think he may be perfect. Well, Karl, I think you very well may be perfect. How did you get here?
I'm not.
How
did I get here?
Oh, now, how did you get to the U.S. on ABC? I look back, I saw you've done things on Logo, and I saw you've done things on other stations. But how did you get breaking?
I have a funny story to say quickly about Logo. I was hearing you talk about Logo before. My business partner who started Plus Life with me was probably the person who didn't give you a Logo show. Thanks. Just saying. But so it comes full circle. I moved here from London. I was diagnosed in London, but my then boyfriend, when this all happened, was had moved to Los Angeles. And so I thought,
do we not like him?
No, we do like him.
That's nice to hear.
It took a while. We had a period where we didn't talk for a while, but we're good friends again now, which is nice. But no, I moved partly because of that. And then also I'd sort of given up being in front of the camera when I was in the UK. And when the HIV diagnosis came, and I've said this before, in a lot of ways, it kind of saved my life. It refocused things. And I had been a TV presenter for a number of years in New Zealand and on the air in Australia, but I'd stopped in London. And I sort of thought to myself, well, maybe I could do this again, and maybe I should try it, because I don't want to be the old man who looks over his shoulder and says, I wonder what would have happened. So that was the other driving force that brought me here. And I bet, that was 13 years ago. 13 years ago, 2 days ago. So,
and when did you get to ABC7?
I got to ABC7, I want to say about 6 or 7 years ago, when On the Red Carpet was a weekly.
Which I love you, I must say. And it was on mostly Saturday nights?
Well, it used to be Saturday nights, and then it was syndicated around the country. And now it's sort of back on the red carpet. The brand is back and is really the entertainment mouthpiece for the Walt Disney Company. So we'll be seeing more on the red carpet, or OTRC, with myself and George Pinocchio, who's our entertainment guru and god here. Yeah, me too. There's more OTRC coming everyone's way, and not just in LA, but around the country too.
Yeah, I have met you and watched you in action on the red carpet, and what I like is that you are not pretentious, and you're not trying for the gotcha moment. You seem to want a connection, even if it's fleeting, and you actually listen. Your follow-ups are really good, because a lot of people have their questions and they're like, okay, you just talked about your dead dog, so how's your mother? It's like,
right. Well, I was taught by some very impressive people in the industry that the number one thing to do if you're in our job is to listen. And so that's it. Also, I don't care about the size of the engagement ring or the name of the guy you had an affair with. I'm there to talk about that. Yeah, you see, and that's good. And there are a lot of people, but that's not my thing. I'm there to promote or talk about what it is that you're proud of in your piece of work. So, that's kind of a little different as well, in the sense I don't need to get through 100 questions for 2 answers about the size of the ring. I want to hear where they're talking about.
Well, we know you have to go. I want to bring Kay Sedia back in. Hello, Kay Sedia.
Yeah, I do have to go, but I want to say, Kay Sedia, you did a fantastic job at the Best in Drag last, whenever it was, at the Pasadena Rose Bowl. I was there in my car, and you were fantastic, and congratulations. I just wish I had some time to nibble your cookies. But
wow.
Thank you. Can you nibble my cookies?
See, he said it to you and not me. That's all right. It's fine.
Well, you know what, Billy? You started off on a bad note with those hairy balls.
I know. I'm sorry, but there are the blue balls too. So.
Yeah, well, a tidy home's a happy home.
Karl, it's lovely to have you here. Tell people where they can get more information about the campaign.
Yeah, well, follow us on social media at @+Life Media, @+Life Media. Also, the website, +lifemedia.com. You can pick up these, and with profits are going to AMFAR. So we are selling these on +lifemedia.com, and profits going to AMFAR, and follow us across social media too. Billy, thank you so much for having me on, and Kay Sedia, congratulations on your peanut butter cookies. I can't wait to try one day.
I'm about to have my son try it.
Bye, Karl. Thank you for coming by. Bye. Oh, isn't he a delight, Kay Sedia?
He didn't host the Gay Pride on ABC last year.
He was one of the hosts. They had like 3. Yep, he was one of them.
I remember him from that. Yeah.
He's very cute.
He's a kitty.
Okay, let me see your cookies.
You want to see my cookies?
I do want to see your cookies.
Yeah, I didn't know we were that far into our relationship, but okay.
That's all right.
Okay, so check this out.
So again, 3 ingredients: sugar, egg, peanut butter.
That's it. That's it. And then what you do is you press them down, because there's no flour, so they're not gonna drop it to like a cookie shape. But what I love about this, especially here, I'm gonna push these down.
Yeah, bring it down.
Silicone. Look, you don't have to use oil or anything.
Oh, you like just peel it off.
Oh yeah. And
now, if people want to see Kay make the entire recipe, it is on Facebook, because I saw that show.
I did it a week ago, right? 2 weeks ago?
Yep. Yeah, a week or 2. It was right after Thanksgiving. And again, they should watch the one with the bowl, with the bowl, with the rice, with the chicken, with the fajitas, the stacker. That was, I had never seen something so simple in my life. And then you just microwaved it.
Yeah, and you're not cooking from the microwave. It's the pressure that it puts in this container that creates the steam and the
so
heat.
it's like a steamer, right?
It's something like that, but it's healthy cooking too, because you don't have to use all the oils and all the all the stuff that makes things taste good. But
I know.
Still good. But
also you put in a lot of lime, you put in a lot of flavors, you put in some jalapeno.
And all of that, and you literally can stack a 3 to 4 course meal, even dessert on the top, in the microwave 20-25 minutes, and it's good to go. I always tell people, if you purchased it from my website, let me know, and I will send you a recipe book where literally you can layer it and decide, okay, what fits in the top one, what fits in the middle one, and it doesn't even have to be things that go together, but you can layer and stack 3 to 4 course meal in a matter of 20-25 minutes.
I just, that I had never seen anything like it before. The other thing that you had, which I know is sold out, so I shouldn't even bring it up, but it was the lemon and lime zester and squeezer combination.
You know what? Let me tell you something.
That looked unbelievable.
I love anybody who knows me, like I love a lot of citrus in my my salsa.
Oh, I know.
Or anything like that. But this is the lemon lime squeeze. It's called the Zest Impress. Zest Impress. But you guys, this isn't available right now. We're having an issue with the pandemic. Issues with metal, but there's a zester that sits right up on top of your lemon lime squeezer. Now, this is usually a wasted space.
Right.
Set that right on top. You zest your lemon lime, and it catches it for you. And that's a 1/4 cup right there. And then, of course,
then you just flip it.
I know, it's fabulous. I wish I could order these for you guys right now.
I know. That was the thing. When I saw that, I've never seen anything like it in my life. There's lots of little gadgets. What are the gadgets that you love?
Oh, my favorite, and you mentioned it earlier.
Oh, the chopper. Oh, I didn't see the big one.
Yeah, it birthed a chill ring. Okay, but check this out. This is called the Power Chef system. You leave the onion in here, and it's chopped finely in about 4 to 5 seconds. Look,
and it's not electricity. You're getting a little workout.
And I always tell people, especially for campers, this is perfect to take camping with you because it doesn't require electricity.
No, I mean, these are so clear, and also they really look nice.
They do look nice. And that's the thing. Tupperware has a whole engineering team that creates all this stuff. They've won awards for some of their innovative products, and I believe this was one of them. But we've got steamers. We've got like the stack cooker. It's amazing because
that is unbelievable. That's my favorite now. I want to get that because you were making beans in one, rice in the other, chicken, and fajitas.
Yeah. And I've even made there was like an enchilada casserole that I made in there as well.
So I didn't see that one.
All of that and put dessert on the top. I made a raspberry lemon cake.
Oh my God. I'm in love with this stuff. And it looks like when you do the show, it looks like Tupperware has taken over your kitchen.
Oh, it has. My entire all my cupboards, everything is full of Tupperware.
Oh, yeah, but you know what? When you just open that, it doesn't look like it takes it up that much. Like you're able to put it on top of each other. It fits together.
It's modular, so it fits inside of each other or it stacks. Like I'll tell you, this is called the classic impression bowl set, and they snap inside of each other, so it's easy.
Oh, they do fit. Okay.
Yeah, it's like a Russian doll minus the Russian.
Yeah.
Okay?
So you have nesting Tupperwares. Look at that.
Easy for storage. They're all rested inside of each other.
Oh, so it doesn't take up. That's what I was thinking, is that it really looked like it took up your whole kitchen.
You know what? It can. It depends if you're smart about how you put it away. It's designed to make life easier for you because this isn't disposable plastic. This is eco-friendly because you're reusing the product.
How durable do you find the products?
Well, you know what? It is durable, and not only that, it has a lifetime guarantee. So literally,
I didn't know that.
Literally, if you bought it in 1946 when you were little children,
how old do you think I am?
You're what, 15, 20?
God love you. All right, go ahead.
But if you bought it in 1946 and it broke today, you could get it replaced for free. You would just pay a shipping cost, or if you were making a purchase, you would just add it onto your order. But lifetime guarantee, and if it's not available anymore, we'll give you credit towards something else. So never throw away your Tupperware. You could always get it replaced. Or
really, I didn't know that. And do they discontinue products and bring in new products all the time?
Often, and they also change colors. Product comes. But yes, we definitely or redesign items. Like this is our peelers.
Yeah,
used to be vertical only. Vertical or horizontal, but now you could do either one with a julienne peeler.
Oh, I would prefer that. That looks like it would be much easier.
Look at that, has a stitches peeler right on the end.
Look at that.
And of course, if you ever have that bad part of the potato, and these are sold in a set of two. Not only that, you see all the little. You see my hole. You see my hole.
Yeah, I see. Yep, I see your hole. That's a small hole.
It's a small hole, but it's an herb stripper. So you put the herb through there and just pull it through, and it strips all your herbs.
Well, how often are you stripping herbs?
All the time, because I'm a health nut.
Oh my God, really?
No, not
even. Are you ever just going to Chipotle and buying something?
You know what? I'll be honest with you. During this pandemic, we have cooked so much more. And I'm not kidding. I gained probably 10, 15 pounds. But that's why the Mumu needs to come back. The Mumu needs to come back. Well, we've cooked so much, and I was never much of a cook. I had like 3 things that I would just rotate to, and my husband was like, okay, this again. Yeah. But now I started following recipes, a lot of the Tupperware recipes that we have on our blog. So it's really nice.
What has been the biggest disaster recipe that you tried to make and it didn't work?
Okay, the first time I did my live cooking show, I didn't do it first, because now what I try to do is, if it's simple enough, I'll do it live on the air. But the first time I did it, I made this whole intricate pasta dish with a butter sage sauce and all kinds of stuff. I did not do any of it first, and we have a pasta microwave maker, which is so fabulous to use, because you literally, instead of having to babysit your stove with the pasta, you literally fill it with the water, drop your pasta in, stick it in the microwave. Not only that, it's its own strainer, but the first time I did it, I didn't put enough water. And the pasta was literally, it absorbed any of the water that was in there, and it was not ready. And I was like, so then I had to put it back in. I tried making my sauce, and then I was confusing myself in the recipe. So I ended up just stopping halfway through. Forget this.
Well, when I saw you making the stacker bowl, you were saying, I probably should put more water in this, but I'm going to try it this way. So you do experiment.
I try. But like I said, I'm a great follow a recipe cook, but I'm not a cook on my own.
All right. Well, at least it worked. How did you get started doing drag?
So Karl mentioned Best in Drag Show.
Yes.
So back in the day, that pageant used to be called Battle for the Tiara.
Battle for the Tiara. I remember it well.
Remember
a huge fundraiser for was it Aid for AIDS?
It was for Aid for AIDS.
Yeah.
And then what happened was Alexis Pittman, who created that show along with Patrick Rush and a few other people, passed away from complications from AIDS. And then they just decided, you know what, this pageant needs to go to bed with Alexis. So they decided to stop. So some sub people that were involved with the pageant came in and said, hey, we'll take over. We'll do a different pageant. So they created like a Miss Universe pageant, which was called Quest for the Crown. Lasted 3 years. They could not get they couldn't get it right.
Really?
Yeah, because you know what, it was the people that came in with and God love them, everybody had their own reasons for doing it, but there's something about the group of men that did Battle for the Tiara that came from a place of service.
Right.
And, other people came in and they tried, but it wasn't the same show. So after 3 years, they decided, okay, this isn't working. We're losing money every time we do it. So then Aid for AIDS approached the guys that were involved with Battle for the Tiara and said, hey, what would it take to get you guys back into, we'll produce the show. You guys just, bring your love and magic to this.
Right.
That's what happened by 2000, I want to say 4 or 5, somewhere along. I'm not exactly sure. So they came back in and created Best in Drag Show, and it's the show you see now, and it's just, again, it's full of love and service.
Oh, and not only that, it's the people are so talented. You have people who are really serious, then you have people who are funny, you have people, it's just everything you can imagine.
And the funny thing is, it's very what I love about it is that people who've never done, myself included, the first time I did the pageant, I had never been in drag or in front of that many people.
How do you never do drag before and you start out in the biggest pageant in the world?
Well, first off, anybody who knows me, anybody who follows me knows that I'm the biggest Miss Universe fanatic.
Yes.
I love beauty pageants. I started following them when I was 14 years old and became obsessed.
What is your favorite talent that somebody does? Because if somebody comes out with puppets,
yeah,
I'm in. I love a puppet.
Well, the real Miss Universe organization doesn't have a talent competition, but in the pageant, there was a queen named Ivy Drip.
Oh,
this whole cancer character. It was so inappropriate and wrong, but perfect. It was hysterical. We made many jokes, okay? But anyway, when the pageant, after I competed in the pageant, I came back as a commentator the 10th year into Best in Drag show. They called me to commentator. I did that for 6 years, and then after 6 years, Patrick Rush decided he was done and just wanted to step away, so they asked me to host. So I hosted it for 2 years on my own, and then this year Patrick Rush came back in and we hosted it together.
Oh, great!
Yeah, but
do you like hosting?
Yes and no. I'll tell you. It's funny because I just heard someone have this conversation recently. Because even though I used to do my one-woman show called Taco Kisses, I did my Christmas show Feliz Navidiva. Doing a show solo is like it's like walking a tightrope. It's like you're in a panic the entire time until it's over.
Yeah,
and
even afterwards.
But sometimes my nerves just got the best of me while I'm doing stuff like that. However, Best in Drag show, the first time I hosted it, I was on adrenaline and excitement that first time.
Oh, wow.
And even until afterwards, I realized how much fun I actually had. But I really flushed out a script for myself. I bantered with people. We were reading off donations. I had a hard time reading a lot of these names. It was like Popowskis and stuff like that were making donations.
You're so quick and you're so funny. And if people watch your cooking show, you were on literally live with Mike for like an hour and a half, and you just talk and you answer questions, and you're so funny and fast.
Well, thank you. It's funny though, because it's funny that you say that, because I realize I have something comes through me. I enjoy performing. It's not how I see myself though. So that's why when I hear other people,
how do you see yourself?
It's funny because I think I grew into this, because when it first started, I was like, who am I kidding? Are they going to figure that I'm a big fraud? And then after time, something started to happen where I just became a spiritual connection to what I was doing. You know what I mean? And that's why it's funny. RuPaul always talks about the spirituality of what she does in drag. And for me, this was an armor that became, it was complete armor. I was afraid of my own life. So this was a way for me to hide and express myself without exposing myself, because I was hiding behind this mask. And then after time, something started to happen where it's like I caught up to myself. It just became an extension of that. I can talk to people the same way that I can talk to people out of drag now.
I was going to say that the best people who are on a sitcom or a drama show or a soap opera, usually the writers are as close to who the person is in real life, because then it's more natural.
Oh yeah. And that's been the case for me. And now it's just, sometimes my husband will come out here and I'm doing my show and I'm doing my thing. He's all, how come you're not doing the accent? I'm all, I guess I thought I was doing it. He's all, you sound like yourself when you talk as Kay Sedia. I'm like, oh, okay. But
obviously when we do a show, we everything is brought up higher. It's a heightened version of ourselves.
And the funny thing is because when I do my Christmas shows, and I've done a couple other shows as well, where I do monologues as my mom. Because my mom was one of my most difficult relationships growing up, And I was through kind of putting an artistic lens through her perspective on the way she viewed things, because she was an immigrant and she was ignorant at the same time. And she remained that way till the day she died. And if I was able to put a comedic twist on kind of the way she looked at things, because she just never really quite understood life on life's terms. I guess she always everything was always being done to her or wasn't done enough for her. It was kind of that. I started doing a show about all of the way she would talk to me as a child. I was like, I can imagine talking to my kid that way now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I've seen your show, and what I love is you tell these stories with such affection, and you put so much humor into her. Did you see her? Did you appreciate that she was funny while she was alive?
I did not.
Yeah,
there was so much pain between my mother and I think, well, I started getting a little more compassion for her when I started performing these monologues. Because I started doing them before she passed away.
Oh wow! Did she ever see them?
No, she could not, because I think so much of who I was as a gay man and as what I had become, she blamed herself for it. And I'm like, well, you shouldn't be blaming yourself for this, because this has become
popular and wonderful.
Yeah, and
so it brings people so much pleasure. You really do. First off, because visually you're so striking, and then your heart and your personality shine through that. When people meet you, even if they don't know who you are or haven't seen the full show, they immediately are drawn to you for some reason. Because I've been in crowds with you, and people who say, they come up to you and say, who are you? Like, nobody does that.
It's funny though, because I think there's something about this character that so many people can relate to, because I guess when I created the character, when I did the pageant, the idea was that she was the biggest thing in Tijuana, and she took that everywhere she went without apologizing. Because that was my mom. My mom would go to the grocery store, with hair and makeup from the party the night before. Mm-hmm. She would have like a gold lame blouse, green sweat shorts, and like these jelly slippers, sandals with socks.
With
and
socks.
Do not go out in public like that, please. She's like, no me importa, I don't care. She's like, I don't care. But she was unapologetic about her ignorance. You know what I mean?
But isn't it nice and refreshing when somebody sort of owns who they are, wherever they are? They have this confidence of, this is who I am. It can be,
especially especially if you get to a place where it comes from. Because my mother was a very what's the word? Complicated woman,
Yeah.
And I tried to have a relationship with her as much as I could, but it was not funny. I didn't think I was gonna start getting so deep about my mom.
Sorry.
No, but it's okay. But she we had a complicated relationship. In fact, she had a stroke when my son was 2 months old. And part of me just knew this was probably going to be her final year. And I made an effort to just make a connection with her during that time. I kept visiting her like a couple times, once or twice a week. Mm-hmm. I kept my son. I did many pictures of my son laying in her bed with her just because I knew. But I had such a disconnect from her being my mother.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I did, because she was just a very difficult woman to love. She did not make it easy. And, I wanted to heal that relationship. In fact, when my mother passed, I was so good with my dad. I loved my dad, mm-hmm. and just the kindest, sweetest, docile man. And he died. I was very heartbroken and sad, but I never cried like I did when my mother died. I think because there was so much that didn't get healed between her and I. Yeah. But
did she accept your son and your husband?
Well, it's funny because she did her best. She did her best. She never spoke about stuff like that, because once I told him I was gay when I was 21, the first time, she had a meltdown. She cried. She says, God's punished me because I was such a horrible mother. And I'm like, oh my God, okay. I guess I'm your punishment. And then it was all that. And then we never spoke of it again. My father would talk to me about it. He would meet my friends. He met Darren before he passed away. And then, I invited my mother to the wedding. She said no. And I'm still waiting for you to find the right woman. I'm like, good luck. Good luck. And
I am the right woman. It's fine.
I found myself. I found her. But then,
how much of Kay is like your mother?
Oh, almost 100%.
Really? So you've used it again for a really positive way. You've almost reinvented your mother into somebody that brings joy to people.
It's funny. It's the thing that's healed me the most about my mother,
I
because
bet.
well, this character to me represents such my mother was a hopeless romantic. She was self-centered beyond, but she was the life of the party. And she lived in her ignorance and thought it was facts. It was truth.
Wow.
She would say things to me like, she's all, come in here. And I say, Mom, it's come here. For me, it's coming here. Come in here. So she would add ing to stuff. And I'm like, that's not how you say
everything. Well, but she also, that's who she was.
Yeah.
Oh my God. So we have so many people who are writing to us. Rhea just wrote, oh my God, I love Kay Sedia. Hey Rhea, we all love you. Oh my Joshy, I love him so much. BMBV. Now I don't know BMBV.
I know BMBV. I love her. I am on the phone with her often because she's ordered some Tupperware for me.
Oh, all right, BMB. Is Bambi a hostess too?
I want her to be. Bambi, you have to host a Tupperware fiesta on a virtual one, because that's all I'm doing these days is virtual Tupperware.
That's it. That's all. Oh my God. So people. Oh, and Anna wrote, "Kay is the best." Well, there you go. Do you know Anna too? You know everybody.
These are all my regular customers. That
they're all tuning in. When is your next show? So do you do it Saturday? Is it Saturday nights?
I do Tuesdays. I try to do Tuesdays. I didn't do this Tuesday because I didn't have a host. I try to go, if I can get hostesses, I try to have multiple hostesses on Tuesday nights, and I'll go live. Plus, I'll do private Zoom parties if people want to book me for them for their Tupperware.
You do? Oh, good. Oh, and Amy just said, hi, Kay.
Hi, Amy.
God, they're all coming out of the woodwork.
It's funny because a lot of the people that follow me on my Facebook or through my Tupperware parties are regular soccer moms or just women that are taking their Tupperware parties.
All right, now this is very exciting, Kay. Rhea just said, oh my God, I want to do one.
Yay! Let's do one.
Okay, you and Rhea together would be outrageous. I'd even come in for that one.
Okay, let's do it, Rhea. Let's do it.
Rhea, we're going to hold you to that. You know, we're going to have it. We'll do another show like in a month or so, and the three of us will do it, and we'll see what you've learned.
Okay. All right.
You got to get in touch with each other. Now, what about, I would think that because of the pandemic, Tupperware, this is something that is still booming, that you can still be doing work. You can still show things off. You can ship things direct to people.
Well, here's the thing. When it first hit, I thought, oh, that's it. My business is done because 20
Really?
Yeah, I thought at the beginning. But then quickly, I started seeing a lot of my colleagues go online doing virtual parties. I'm like, okay, well, let me go for it. And I had, at that point, I had done virtual parties sporadically, but it was never anything consistent. So then I started doing it regularly, and then people started wanting to host. And then probably the first 3 to 4 months, I had sold Tupperware like I had not sold in years.
See?
Like $30,000 worth of Tupperware on my team, not just myself. And then,
now how does it work?
So it's a multi-level marketing company. People can come in, they become a consultant. I'll train them. I'm doing all my training virtually right now.
Right.
And eventually they get a kit to get them started when they buy into their Tupperware.
So is it kind of like Mary Kay? Because we all know that like you have a mentor who sets you up and they help you, but they work under you.
Yeah. In fact, have you ever met DWI?
Yeah.
DWI, she and I used to be the color commentators together at Best in Drag Show. She's on my team. She moved to Ohio, and she has a huge team out there. And yeah.
And is she still under you? How does that work? Oh, so it's like a little pyramid scheme kind of.
Well, people call it a pyramid. It's multi.
I know. I'm sorry. I shouldn't say that, but
because the pyramid scheme, there's someone that always gets screwed at the bottom. Nobody gets screwed here as long as you do the work.
I want to get screwed. Okay. Victor Perez said, I just got some really cool stuff from Tupperware. Oh, look, I had a Tupperware party with Kay. I can't say last Saturday, and it was the best.
We had a Zoom party with his family. It was so much fun because a lot of his family was up in Palmdale, and I kept teasing them that they all live in the ghetto. I guess they Lancaster or something like that. But he hosted. In fact, we closed out his party last night. He earned probably about $200 or $100 and something worth of free Tupperware.
See, look at that. You're having a good time. You're spending time with your friends, which we're all sitting home. We have nothing else to do. You're getting some good products. You're learning how to cook with somebody who barely knows how to cook herself, but we're laughing together. I think it's great.
The great thing about hosting from home is that you don't have to take a shower. You don't have to clean your house.
See, well, that's how I've been doing this whole show. Look, I got my balls behind me. So what is your next show? When is your next show? Next Tuesday?
So, I'm glad you asked. So next Thursday night, I'm actually gonna do my
Thursday. So a week from tonight.
No. I'm gonna do my live Tupperware show on Tuesday, but next Thursday I'm doing my Feliz Navidiva show.
Oh my God!
Want to hear a preview of my song?
I do. Are you kidding? Of course I do.
This is how I like to open my show. Jose the gardener is the one who trims my bush with his 10-inch pipe and his rubber hose. Gosh, I hope he spanks my tush. Jose the gardener was pulled over one day with no green card and no documents. La migra made him go away. There must have been some magic in the gardener's box of tools. Forever since he went away, my garden never grew. So next Thursday, 7 p.m. Pacific time, I'm doing my Christmas show, Feliz Navidiva. My husband's going to come in and sing a couple Christmas country songs.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And of course, your son, who's so cute. God, he is so adorable.
Thank you.
You know, what I love is that you really, you seem to be raising him with such love and acceptance. He's been sort of exposed to so many different people from a very young age. He doesn't bat an eye about any of it.
Well, the funny thing is, I always joke that he, because he's not afraid of any of like the big characters at any of the music parts. He's not afraid of clowns, but more importantly, he's either just gonna embrace everybody or have a piñata fetish when he grows up. I'm just
Does he ask like any odd questions? Does any of it confuse him?
Not yet. He knows it's me. He talks to me all the time. You see him pop into my videos. It doesn't faze him because it's his normal. I'm sure at some point,
his life, right?
Yeah, at some point, I'm sure he's gonna start asking like, "Why are you dressed like that? What's going on?" But
do you show up like that around his friends? Like, how are his friends?
No, I mean the funny thing is he goes to a very progressive daycare. Yeah, which luckily because it falls under the daycare clause, he was still able to stay open, so we still take him. Here's the thing: I'm the head of the fundraising committee at the school. Everybody knows.
Oh, I bet you're great at that.
Oh my God, I have so much fun, but we have become friends with some of the parents, and it's just been great because we it's one of those things where because my husband wants to move like out of state, and I'm like, you know what? We might not get the same bubble that we have here, where it's not people don't bat an eye as to who we are, But yeah,
I think that's, again, I think that the more kids are exposed to from a young age, the less they're afraid, the more accepting they are. There's not prejudice there. I mean, there's still going to be issues. Nothing's ever perfect. He may end up, but like you said, and Rhea just put it, he could grow up to have a piñata fetish.
Right? He might. His mom's a walking, talking piñata.
I just, is your life, you seem to me to have a very happy life. Is it as happy as I think?
You know what? Here's the thing. I'm human. Yeah. I've had my issues. I'm in recovery 26 years.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so a lot of it stems from that. And for me, there's a balance. If I'm balanced, if I keep everything in balance, good. When things aren't balanced in my life and I go crazy or I'm obsessive on one thing or the other, then it's crazy. Like for me, it's a work-home life balance that I struggle with. Mm-hmm. Are things perfect? No relationship, no household is, but we are solid in our love. We're solid in our communication that we work on a daily basis. We talk to someone every Thursday, and this morning was one of our sessions, and we're not ashamed. Yeah, we're not ashamed of it because for us, we struggled with communication, and now it's about learning to heal together as a relationship as opposed to seeing the other as the enemy. But yeah, and not to mention everything I mentioned about my mom, that fucked me up in one way or another. So,
I think that I have a relative who went through therapy. I just talked about this with Sam Harris on Tuesday. And this person went through therapy and got out a lot of their emotional issues with their mother. And then I said, okay, well, good. Now you've recognized it, but now it's your problem. What are you going to do about it? Because when you hold on to that, and I know people who they get to that point, but they can't go any further. So the fact that you have now channeled it into your work and incorporated it into your life and have sort of come to peace with that, I think is so beautiful.
But not only that, the best advice I could ever give anyone is the freedom in any of your problems comes from personal responsibility. I take responsibility for the things I say, for the things that I do, and the way that I hurt other people if I do. That has been my biggest freedom, because whenever I think my problems are of your doing, I have to wait for you to change for me to feel better. Right? So that has been the biggest lesson that I've learned as an adult and through most of my recovery, is when I take responsibility for myself, clean my side of the street, things are better. Things are easier. And there's such a freedom in that.
What about the people who are either passed away or no longer in your life? How do you then get past that?
It's a long way. Hey.
Well, that might be how with the dog.
The dogs. Well, what, there's something you can call, something that I try to do is make a living amends. So I try not to repeat, because one thing that I realized, the reason I had such an issue with my mother is there was so much of her that was in me. Hey, you want to say hi?
Oh, let me see. Hi, sweetie. Oh, the peanut butter cookies. You love those, huh?
A cookie? Can you say hi, Billy? Say hi, Billy. Look, he's wearing his coat.
He's not interested.
Say hello. No, he's out.
No, he's out. He just wanted the cookies. That's all right.
He came for the cookies.
I know. Look, we all want your cookies.
But there's something I do that's called a living amends, that I try to live my life treating people. Come say hi. I just want a cookie too. He just wants a cookie too. Say hello.
That's all right. We know. Hey, how are you?
Hi.
Good to see you. Enjoy your cookies. I know. See, this is the good side. You get to eat the samples. It's fine.
I'm talking about you. But anyway, I try to make a living amends. I try to live my life the way that I would want to be. I try to treat people the way that I want to be treated.
Right.
And I sometimes fall short, but I try. And that's what I mean by taking responsibility. It doesn't mean that you're perfect. It just means that when you do screw up, take responsibility for it.
Well, it also balances out. There are times that we're crappy to people and we don't mean it. Sometimes we do mean it. And then there are times that we're good, and you just have to acknowledge both. I have to say, I haven't said this in a long time, but about 2 years ago on The View, Sunny Hostin had said something and then I talked to her about it when I saw her. She said she tries to do something good for a stranger every day.
Wow.
And it's just, when you think that's going to be hard, but you're just walking down the street and you open a door for somebody, or you let somebody go because they need to cross the street or get past the light or whatever. And we're always in a rush, and we say, you know what? It took 5 seconds for me to let somebody do what they needed to do.
Yeah.
And it makes a difference. It really does. You feel good about yourself, and you feel maybe that person will do something nice for somebody else.
You meet Sunny? Where did you meet her?
We met. So the Go-Go's had a musical on Broadway called Head Over Heels, which our friend Peppermint was in. And so Sunny was there the opening night, and we have mutual friends. And I told her, I said, you said something that I have held on to and changed my life. She started crying because she said, somebody said it to me, and then it changed my life. And she's like, and maybe by you telling somebody else, it will change their life. And I realized, these little bits of advice that we all share, they're powerful.
You never know how you're going to affect people. Because, I love that show. Who I love on that show is Sarah Haynes.
Oh, Sarah is the best. And she has a gay brother who I think I should date him.
You probably should.
And I don't even know what he looks like, but if she could be my sister-in-law, I would be very happy.
And I think he's married, but...
That's okay. That's not my problem. I can be the mistress. It's okay.
That's his problem.
He might want to be married to Karl Schmid. Those cute guys, they all find each other.
Right?
I know.
How dare them.
Kay, I love you. Show me the cookies again. How many have you eat? What's left?
Oh, there's still quite a few left. I haven't put them.
Oh my God. Those look so good. So I'm going to make those tonight. And I'm going to send you a picture.
Please send me a picture. And if anybody else is going to make them, send me a picture of yours.
How long do I have to cook them?
8 minutes.
8 minutes. That's it. And why do we have to put the fork on top? That's always on peanut butter cookies. Why?
You have to. It's the way to flatten them out.
Now, what if I didn't flatten them? They're going to flatten anyway, right?
No, because I told you there's no flour.
There's no flour. So I could have it like a little ball.
You could.
Oh, I would like some peanut
I don't know
butter
how
balls.
you might have to cook it longer than 8 minutes because I don't know if the dough would get cooked in the center.
Oh, because it's going to be thicker, right?
Yeah.
Oh, see, now you've got me concerned. Maybe, what about if I put a Hershey's Kiss in the middle?
You can do that.
Wouldn't that be delicious?
You can also sprinkle a little bit of sugar on the top of the cookies before they go in the oven.
Oh, look at that. Look, Robert L. just told us. Quesadilla hosted my Castle Green Cinco de Mayo party. She got lost trying to find it. It's on YouTube.
I made a whole video about it. It was so funny.
What was this? What was this party?
So Cinco, he lives in a green castle that's in Pasadena. Have you ever been there?
Yes.
He lives in there. And he had me come over for a Cinco de Mayo party I hosted. But I couldn't find the entrance. So I was circling the entire castle and I'm singing, in the darkness, in the black night. And I'm literally talking to strangers, videoing myself trying to get in there. I was live on Facebook. That was like 4 or 5 years.
Oh my God, I'm going to have to look that up. Oh my God. Okay, what I'm going to do is when I post it, people have been watching live, and this is live. It's on YouTube. It's on Facebook. We will put all of your information. I see you've got it right under your name, Quesadilla1. And if people want to Venmo you.
Venmo, my name, Kay Sedia, just my name, at Kay Sedia.
Okay. Because I love that, it's funny because so many people put that stuff up there and I'm like, you guys are working hard. I'm working hard too, but
Right.
I'm just sitting here. I didn't even get any damn cookies. I have to go make my own cookies.
But you know what? I put my Venmo account up because oftentimes people will tune into my Tupperware show and don't need Tupperware. And I'll say, hey, if you guys want to send me some love. At the end of the day, I still work for tips.
Well, the thing is, look, we're all bar performers. This is what we do. Mm-hmm. And you give people, as I said, I was watching and when you started mentioning me and I said, oh, I felt like I was there with you. It just made me so happy. And then when you were trying the jalapeno and taking the membrane out, because the membrane is where you get the heat.
Yeah, that's what you want.
I did not know that.
I didn't either until I saw the recipe that I followed.
The best part, when you were putting the red pepper in, you said, I don't even like the red pepper. I just put it in for color.
For color, right?
Okay, I love you. I love having you on. I'm so glad that I texted and that we just made this happen. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me. I love talking to you, Billy, and anytime.
And next week on Tuesday, you'll be live. And then Thursday, Feliz Navidiva.
Feliz Navidiva. They're both live on my Facebook. And I'm going to try to go live on Instagram as well for the Feliz Navidiva show. Because it's not always easy to get my little head in there.
I know, but it's great. And I just love you. Thank you so much for being here. Happy holidays.
I love you, Billy. Thank you. Merry Christmas and Happy Chanukah.
Bye, honey.
Kwanzaa.
What?
Happy Kwanzaa, too.
Oh, and happy Kwanzaa. That's right. And happy Chanukah. Exactly. Bye, honey. Oh, guys, thank you for watching Billy Masters Live. I, of course, have been Billy Masters. We're coming to you from the Florida Beach House with my, hold on, let me show you again. So I got to tell you, I didn't tell you this. When I went to Out of the Closet and I got this lighthouse, I recognized the guy from clubs and he recognized me because, I'm very well known. And I put my credit card in the machine for $3.99, but it was a credit only line. And I said, it says approved. He's like, okay, you can pull it out. He said, oh, it's been a long time since I've had to say, pull it out to anybody. And I said, you and me both. Anyway, that is our little, from that to my blue balls that Karl Schmid doesn't like. He doesn't like my blue. Well, I think it was the hairy balls that scared him. I don't think the blue balls bothered him. Anyway, all right, I'm putting my balls away. All right. Thank you for watching Billy Masters Live in my lighthouse that I love. You know I'm going to drop this. We will be here next week, although I will not be here. I will be in Boston. Oh, I'm going to be freezing. I'm not going to be wearing T-shirts. And as I said, I'm not sure who we're going to have Tuesday, but we do have Ruth Pointer, the Pointer Sisters, on Thursday. There'll be great shows no matter who's here. Thank you for watching. Have a great weekend. Wear your mask. Take care of each other. Do something nice for a stranger. You know what I find helps? When you can then brag about it to somebody. I know it kind of takes the anonymity out of it. I like a little bit of acknowledgement for my good deeds. Anyway, have a great weekend. I'll see you next week. Bye, guys. Oh, don't forget this was Billy Masters Live, because if we're here, we're live.